And we're live. Johnny, where's your sunglasses? Those are a duh staple. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. It's been a while, dude. I was actually just thinking it's been like a month because of the winter break we all took. I hope you came back to 2026 rested, refreshed, ready to get permanent. Hope you haven't been checking the news at all because you'll lose all your hair. Look what happened to me. We have the one, the only Jim, creator of Wuzzy Search, joining us because this is one of the coolest new projects on the Permaweb. Jim, how are you doing, man?
Doing all right. How you guys doing?
I'm living the dream. Actually, you know what? Let's take a break. I always go right to the guy. Jeff, how are you doing? You got a new dog?
Yeah, yeah, just enjoying spending time with my new dog. Super cute. I'm ready to start the new year with all this the crazy news and like everything going on.
Yeah, I apologize on behalf of my country. Johnny, how are you doing?
Oh, I've got background noise. Um, Pretty good, talking to people. I've been kind of heads down since New Year, building my own little project in the corner. Like I've been quieter than usual. I'm usually all over social media, so you guys are talking about news, and for once, I'm like, I don't actually know what the news is right now, so I need to like jump on social media, I
No, you
guess.
don't, Johnny. No, you
Don't
don't.
do
You
it.
do not want to see. No, yeah, no. You're in a perfect place. Just keeping ignorance is bliss is what I'll say. And Jim, what's going on, man? I'm dying to talk to you because Wuzzy is something we've all been dying to know, dying to have in the permaweb ecosystem. It's been like probably the one thing that we all have been like, man, I wish someone would build it, and you stepped up and got us there. But before we even get to that, I always like to start by kind of exploring who you are as a person. Like, how did you wind up in Web3, let alone the permaweb ecosystem? What's the winding road that took you here?
Well, back in the ancient days when ETH was $50, I started mining Ethereum. And kept that up for a little bit. Um, then really getting into the Web3 programming side of things was when I had some artist friends approach me about NFTs back during that craze, which got me interested in figuring out, I guess, the best way to do service to them in Web3, because we saw a lot of I guess not outright lies, but I mean like a lot of issues with Web3 artists back then, and so I wanted to find the best solution and landed with Arweave. Um, so yeah, so that's how I got into this space, and started Art by City for a bit. Um, had an IRL gallery in Brooklyn for a little bit, based on Art by City. Um, but yeah, that's basically the quick TLDR of why I'm here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jim,
man.
you're a Permaweb OG, right? Like, how long have you been in the Arweave ecosystem?
One of the open web foundries. I
Oh,
forget which one it was.
wow. Okay, and that was like 1 year after Arweave was, or is that like when Arweave just started, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty early on. I wasn't. I mean, I haven't been here as long as like Phil from Mario, for example. But yeah, back there in the open web foundry days.
That was
What
like
was,
21 roughly, I think, because I,
I
I
think.
I went through the I sort of went through the open web foundry with sarcophagus way back in the day, so I seem to recall it being like around 21, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think Decent Land guys were in the same cohort as us.
another OG? Wow, that was a huge class. And
Yeah,
like
shout
I'm
out.
shout out. I'm actually I would like to kind of pause and like take a look at. Like, I'm looking at your profile right now on X, which is the meme coach. Incredible get with that handle right now. So Art by City was what?
It was kind of an opinionated way, I guess, on behalf of the artist. What can we do with Web3 that can make it a peer experience for them? Being open and transparent. Like, this is what happens with your data. This is what you're doing. You're minting NFTs and like OpenSea or something, for example. It's not permanent, etc. So it was mostly about that. And then, yeah, I think the biggest problem with our city is we suffered from lack of discoverability,
Mm.
which ties into why Wuzzy Search and all that now. So
It does sound, yeah, no, lack of discoverability, solve that. And then I see, are you working with Anyone Foundation? I know Anyone, I love those guys.
yeah, I'm actually the I don't know engineer number 1 or 0 or whatever.
Wow.
Principal architect.
You
Yeah,
know you're an engineer when you use 0 as the number 1 spot.
yeah. Yeah, no, first engineer, last engineer, the whole alpha omega engineer. Over at Anyone. Yeah, I mean
The
it's not
0 to
just me.
1
There's
engineer.
no, well, yeah, exactly. That's how to describe it, I guess. We took the project from an idea to now it's mainnet on EVM with like 6,000 relays. So yeah,
We,
sorry, go ahead.
no, so I was gonna say we've had Anyone on the show, but for anyone who's new, who's tuning in, what does Anyone do?
It's essentially a decentralized VPN. Um, it's an incentivized onion routing network on EVM mainnet, and we
Very
use
cool.
AO and Arweave for a bunch of the stack, mostly related to the rewards protocol side of things. So we do rewards and staking calculations on AO. We do identity linking and management between relays and relay families on AO. And the dashboard is published as a Permaweb app, and there's a bunch of metrics that we push.
Awesome, dude. Mimetic block. What's that?
I guess that's my company.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just the company that we do business under.
I gotcha.
Calling it a software guild, I suppose. So we got a few people on the roster on various projects.
Yeah. All right. All right. So you're a busy guy. I get that. And back to the ETH mining. I hope you manage to hold on to some of that ETH when you're getting at $50 a pop.
No, we don't talk about that.
Uh, okay. Yeah. We'll move
I
on
did the same
quickly. So
thing.
the pain is
I
not
did the
with
same
us.
thing, man. I
I
had
think
a
everyone
bunch
did
of
the same thing.
1080s on racks.
I still have them.
Oh god, those things are monsters.
Yeah.
And so now you're building out Wuzzy Search. Can you kind of tell us, yeah, what is Wuzzy, but how did it happen? For those of us who are around for the hackathon, we remember Wuzzy nearly and dearly, but how did the idea come to you? What was it like entering the hackathon, and what is sort of like the big picture idea behind Wuzzy?
Yeah, I mean, I started working on search for Arweave before the hackathon, actually, but using Elasticsearch. Um, and so I guess I've always wanted to push that idea. Like it was a common problem, a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people opining on social media, like, why isn't there a search engine for Arweave? So it seems like an interesting problem to solve with actual users wanting it to exist. So started with Elasticsearch, but then I saw the hackathon and I figured, that'd be an interesting challenge to try to turn this into a decentralized thing on Hyperbeam. So that's the challenge I took.
I actually have a question about that too, because myself and probably some other builders would be interested to know. And you don't have to go into super specifics because I know this may get technical, but one of the core issues that I recognize with trying to index Arweave data is the lack of, how do you put it, metadata tags that you can just point to and go, okay, here is a data type set or content type set to categorize them. So I'm curious how you were able, like, did you use AI or like how did you get it to where it can index things and categorize them and understand that, oh, these types of data all fit together and these types of data fit together without having universal metadata tags, going back to the beginning?
Well, the easiest, or it depends on, I guess, the search you're doing. The media searches are using Gold Sky's GraphQL for now. We're working on something that would enable decentralization of that aspect, but probably not through Hyperbeam because the tag index for all of Arweave is huge. I don't know if you've had like a we've run a gateway and set it to block 0. Takes a long time, and it's really, really big, the data that it puts there. But for ARNS search, we kind of just treat it like a normal website, and then that kind of takes care of it for us. Like, we go through links and continue crawling that way. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that basically does. So the crawler just goes through and categorizes the data as it finds it.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly like scrapes it into text, so it's
Gotcha.
yeah.
So I got a couple of questions about stuff you guys were talking about. So back to Elasticsearch. So if I recall correctly, Elasticsearch is like an open source search model out there that people can kind of iterate on. Did I get that right?
I don't know if Elasticsearch is open source. There's actually another project called Open Search that is open source and is meant to be open source Elasticsearch. But yeah, so yeah, essentially it is the back end, I guess. If you wanted to index things, it's set up pretty much out of the box to just start indexing and allowing you to search things in a very simple way.
So you were going to use that, but then you pivoted to something different. Why? Did I get that right so far?
Yeah, and well, yeah, we're using Hyperbeam. I mean, in some ways it's easier than Elasticsearch. In some ways it's more gives the user more flexibility because we don't have to like program every little like edge case or anything like that. The users can, for example, with Wuzzy, bring their own algorithm, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, because we're using the patch device and dynamic views. So if a user wanted to, they could upload a dynamic view with their own weights or way to search the data set.
So if I really wanted to, I could basically bring my own search algo and plug it into Wuzzy.
Yeah.
That's cool. And how, kind of related to what Johnny was asking before. So what is actually out there crawling? Is it like an AO process through Hyperbeam, or how does that work?
So it's a little different right now than what we had on the hackathon, and that's only technical limitations with Hyperbeam between LegacyNet and mainnet. One of the biggest immediate issues if we're basing crawling on ARNS is that ARNS is only on LegacyNet. So LegacyNet doesn't have crawling through the relay device, but the mainnet does. So there's kind of like a centralized blue thing that's going on right now. But the idea is to eventually have that be fully just within AO processes, yeah.
I've actually never really had it's actually still hard for me even to this day to picture how Arweave content is like I don't know, bucketed, if that's the right word. So when you say searching ARNS, so for those of you watching, if you don't know what ARIO is, that's ARIO, if I'm understanding correctly. So like every ARNS website, that's one bucket of Arweave content. Is that right? No.
For the ARNS index, I guess you could consider it that way.
And so what does that do? It knows to search through every ARNS website and basically treat it like a regular website where you go through and catalog the information. Is that accurate?
Right, yeah. That's why I made the ARNS indexer microservice, so we can have that information, not just from like a give me all the records, but like I need all the records at the same time, you know? And then I don't know if you've ever tried to crawl every ant record, because it includes undernames, right? Like getting all top level ARNS names is really quick, right? I think there's like 4,000 of them, and that's 4 requests because the paging size is 1,000. But when you're going for undernames, that expands it by quite a lot, and that takes a long time to crawl actually, just because we have to request every individual ant process and then get its individual records and things like that. So, we use ARNS indexer to basically expose a giant list of current ARNS names that we should crawl.
Do you have my only frame of reference? I'm very not technical, so my only frame of reference is Google in my head. And I don't know how Google works, but with the ARNS and all the undernames when you're searching, does it also have the ARNS like connected to the content that's on the page? Like, do you have it like stored or cached or something? Um, just like for searches in the future, like how does that work?
You mean
Like
like the
how do you
content
approach like
that's returned in the search results?
yeah, like say if I search up cat and maybe it's mentioned on the reo.arweave.net page or something.
Right.
Is that relevant to the search or is it just
Yeah, that should get picked up in the search.
okay, cool.
Yeah, so what we do is we have yeah, we had that tagline of 80K documents or whatever. It's a lot less daunting or scary than that in reality because we're not storing full documents, which are mostly HTML. So as you can imagine with HTML, there's a lot of extra structure there that we just don't. One, we don't need it, and two, we actually don't even want it because then we're vulnerable to cross-site scripting through HTML attacks in our search results. As you can see in some of the old search results, there were H1s and things that leak through, and that's not something that we want to have. So, yeah. So essentially, to answer your question, we do have like I guess HTML scraping or parsing algorithm that creates text documents maps to the original document.
Is that stored on your own server or like how does that work?
That stuff that's on Hyperbeam.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
it's crawled, and then right now we're focused on the legacy net side of things. So it's crawled and then put onto Hyperbeam, the individual documents, and then you're actually searching through the documents themselves on Hyperbeam.
Damn, cool.
What if I uploaded something to Arweave and it's not on an ARNS website? Like maybe I made like a public folder on R drive, or maybe I just like I don't know directly uploaded it to Arweave. So do you have to do like a different methodology to pull that information?
Yeah. With the ARNS, we have the advantage of being able to just ask gateways, and actually, with crawling, a lot of providers kind of detect crawling and prevent you from doing it. So one advantage there is we can hop around different gateways to request the same thing to kind of escape that. But sorry, could you rephrase the question again?
Actually, I'm curious. When you say providers have detections against crawling, what type of provider do you mean?
It's like where your server is hosted. For example, like we're on Hetzner and they're pretty okay with it as long as you obey like
Oh,
robots
like
TXT and stuff like that. Yeah.
so like the actual server provider that your node is on will like automatically detect if you do crawling.
That or on the destination side of things. Yeah.
I
Like
see,
if
I
we're
see.
spamming a bunch of files and not trying to get robots TXT or sitemaps first, then yeah, you're gonna get in trouble.
I gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. And then, and again, this is like my bad for not fully understanding how the ARNS websites, or ARNS and
Oh
gateways
right, yeah,
work.
yeah. R drive and
Yeah, like what if I upload, I have this right now. I put some things on a public drive on our drive, but it's not like
right.
they have an ARNS assigned to them.
Yeah, it would only get right now. It would only get picked up if you assigned an ARNS name to them. We are looking to do something for R drive to make those searchable. You know, there's different types of search actually that we can get into. There's the main Permaweb search that we're kind of focused on, but then there's also like I guess micro search on individual apps, for example. Like the cookbook has like a search at the top or whatever that's only for the cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there is I think application there for and like user created searches that are dedicated to like kind of a domain set.
How often
Um,
does your indexer index the ARNS? I'm just curious. I was
we
sitting here
try to
looking
do
at
it
it.
at least we try to do it at least once a day,
Okay.
but it does take a long time. Like crawling originally took more than a day, so we weren't able to hit that target. But yeah, a lot of work's
Wow.
gone
Yeah.
into trying to automate the pipeline.
It's a lot of data.
And
Yeah.
back to Johnny's tag question. and Johnny and Jim, you can both help me out here. I kind of remember talking about. I think I knew this at one point. It went up my head. So what is it like? There's only so many different tags that Arweave content can be like tagged with. And what are those tags specifically? Is it something as simple as like this is a text document, this is a picture, or is it something totally different?
Well, um, we kind of have to validate everything anyway because people could just lie. um, if they put content type that's wrong, it's on us to figure that out and throw it out or parse it differently. But yeah, mostly the content type tag. There is ANS 104, not 104. What was the other one? Content types and subjects and stuff like that. There is that spec that some people use. That's actually pretty useful for the GraphQL searches. But yeah, pretty much we really only look at the content type because it's the only thing that we can kind of semi-trust before we get into it.
And so is there and the GraphQL is sort of like the doorway to all Arweave content. Am I right there or am I way off?
I mean, traditionally that is how everyone's been searching things on Arweave since it's been available, I guess. I mean, it's pretty much the only way to find things.
And
Um,
is it there's like a limitation to how many times you can call it? Is that right?
it's more the page size. I think you can only get like 100 results at a time, which is,
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah,
dealing with
you can
Arweave
only
with
get 100.
millions of transactions, you're not going to crawl anything anytime soon with that. So I'm very
So
grateful that I've been running an Ario gateway for a long time from block 0 that I have all the tags indexed already.
and so if you're running the Ario gateway, are you just like collecting all the information that's being stored that are like put on Arweave, or is that just a portion of it?
um, right now, it's not actually used anything in production directly. It's more me experimenting to see how we could create more pipelines or enhance tag search beyond what Gold Sky offers, or maybe even in the future unifying it into a single search bar, kind of like how Google has. Um, yeah, a lot goes into that one little search bar.
I gotcha. And what types of content are you able to find right now?
Well, ARNS is all text based, and then GraphQL is we're not really doing anything there yet. That's just pure Gold Sky at the moment.
So like I'm talking like videos, text, photographs, audio, are
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those?
So
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much any audio, video, or image format is available through those interfaces. I was thinking about making like a like a tag power search or something like that, just because I mean, even using GraphQL myself gets annoying to handle. Um, maybe even having an interface like that. I mean, it's really there is no limitation really. Um, the UI kind of arbitrarily limits what you're able to search for just for convenience to the user. But we could expand on that.
And shoot, what was my next question? How do you determine the rankings? Was that something you had to build in-house, or like how do you even know like okay, so Jeff searched for cat. How do you
Right.
determine? Oh, okay. Whoa, we got a screen share going on here. I like it.
So for media searches, that's again pure Gold Sky. So that's just fuzzy matching on tags. Um, it'll take whatever you take from the search input and put that in the appropriate tag to do fuzzy matching, as well as the content type formats that you select. Um, sorry, could you repeat?
Well, actually, this does tell. So you named Wuzzy Search as like a play on fuzzy search. Is that right?
Yeah.
Remind me again, what is fuzzy search?
So it's for example, if you were to search um, cat, as we're going to continue with this example, I guess cats with an S at the end should also match, arguably, or if you have like a typo or something like that. Basically, It's a little bit more than just exact text character matching.
A
I mean,
little
well,
more
one
forgiving.
right. I guess another big example is capitalization doesn't matter anymore. So if someone were to upload something all capital CAT and you typed in lowercase, you'd need fuzzy search to match those things together.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
I was curious.
You
And
I was
cat's
gotcha.
actually sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, you go, Jim.
I was just gonna say cat's a weird category. It's the pun there because cat will match category, so that's why cat might not be a good example.
Good dog. No, I was gonna ask, what
Yeah.
do you see like the future of Wuzzy going? And is Wuzzy like your main thing now? Like what do you see like the future for you guys?
Yeah, I'm pretty much working on anyone and Wuzzy right now for the foreseeable future. The plan is to, I guess, like you guys have pointed out, decentralize and focus on the central pain points. I guess the whole roadmap or philosophy of a roadmap is make it exist and then kind of expand the proof of concepts and the MVP parts, and then over time make it better, make it more decentralized, the central authority aspects of it as much as we can.
Does the infrastructure exist today that would allow Wuzzy to eventually turn into just like how Google works, where I can effortlessly type in anything I want and it would be really spot on, or like what we were saying in terms of like the GraphQL limitations and other things like that. Are there going to
Yeah.
be do there need to be like infrastructure level changes to make Wuzzy as flawless as Google, or is it totally doable as now?
Well, there's a lot that goes into the one little search box, and I'm sure with Google, with their billions of dollars, there's a lot more that goes into their one little search box that I'm probably not aware of. Um, but yeah, there's probably got to be some kind of like AI or smart routing or semantic understanding of what people are trying to search to get the kind of, I don't know if fidelity is the right word, or the kind of the results that you expect from just yelling at a computer and it gives
Hmm.
you what you want,
Hmm.
which is the age we're entering in, it seems. Um, but yeah, that would probably require some more thinking of how search routing would work rather than just taking the raw query and spitting it into the BM25 algorithm, for example.
Gotcha.
We're also,
That's
I would say that we also have the advantage of that there's really not that much. I mean, compared to the full internet, there's not a lot of data that we're dealing with just yet.
Yeah. Well, it's still, I mean, it's still a fair amount. So I would imagine like, yeah, that, and you were saying like, how often does it refresh? Is it like on a daily basis that you're able,
Yeah, we
or are
try to
you
hit
able?
it daily, but it's not. There's still like a manual process that I have to go in and check it and make sure nothing failed and kind of approve it, just because we don't want any downtime.
Hmm. What did I see something that you launched Permaweb achievements? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, if you were to, I guess, connect your wallet, um, you'd see a rewards page in that drop down. Um, but yeah, so I guess it's important for us to get feedback from users to know that we're
Hmm.
building something useful for them. And feedback doesn't happen instantly, like this the moment you turn it on. So we needed to address it sooner rather than later to start collecting data over time, so that when we go to look at it, we actually had data to react against. So that's kind of why we pushed that so quickly. Um, and then the whole badges is just so we can give something back, because we were to just be like, hey, attach your wallet for no reason and tell us what you're searching, I don't think anyone would do. So the badges are a way of kind of, one, giving back a little incentive for people to do that, but also it represents that person did that thing in a provable on-chain way. so that we can go look back on it later and say, okay, well, these are our most loyal users for these apps. Let's reward them first, or airdrop them first, or something, whatever you have.
Ah, very cool, very smart. I gotcha.
Just curious, you said that you're going to look at doing like micro searches, like you were talking about how individual sites kind of have their own searches. Does that mean that you'll be able to, like, say, someone launches a really big app like a Messenger or a photo share or something that's really large and will have its own large database, and they need to make a search engine for all of their users and whatnot to search public stuff
Right.
in their app? Would Wuzzy Search be something in the future that you'll have packaged up where like someone can come in and basically hook up to it like an API and be like, hey,
Mhm.
here's my ARNS name. I need all of the images attached to this ARNS name indexed so I can search them for users or whatever. Is that in the kind of what you were talking about with the microservice part?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that a good target for that is Arweave, for sure. Any of
Yeah,
the Arweave
definitely.
documentation we could unify into a single search would be cool. Um, Upshot cards is another great example, which you can kind of, if you just type in Upshot into the image search right now, you'll pretty much only get Upshot cards, but it's not perfect. So there could be a dedicated search for that. Yeah, totally. That's definitely something we want to do.
That's dope. Because I know, like, I think that that is a huge market possibility that Google totally fumbled. Because they have infinite data access and billions of dollars behind them. They could totally package up searches for small companies and stuff and personalize it. And maybe they do out a different door, and they don't call it Google, but I've never seen it.
I think one of the more popular ones is Algolia, and I've been researching them and how they do things a lot. It's actually pretty interesting in that their max document size limit is the same as the ANS 104 subsidy limit. So the stars might be aligning a little bit there.
Is
You
this up?
mentioned
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Adrian.
Yeah, they're pushing it. I mean, everything's, everyone's pushing AI and agents right now, so that's, I guess, what their branding is. But yeah, they've been around for a while providing search for like documentation pages or smaller apps that need a dedicated search.
I work with AI enough that I do not trust it yet to be honest with me 100% of the time. So like if somebody asked me if I would rather index thousands of pages manually or ask an AI and I had the actual choice, I'd index the pages.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of crazy. Most of the work with AI is just checking that it did the correct thing. Still can't
We are
trust them
now
yet.
infinite bug hunters and auditors. That's all. That's
Yeah,
like
no,
what we've
you're
been
just I'm
turned
just code
into.
reviewing.
Yep. We're just infinite auditors now. We just audit. We're all great auditors.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been my dream to just yell at a computer and it does what I tell it to. So we're getting there.
Jim, you mentioned earlier something about like HTML tags. Does that ring a bell? Like it caught my attention, and I kind of moved on before addressing it. Like what were you referencing then?
Oh, I guess when I was talking about how like we don't store like HTML documents, right? We scrape the HTML and make it a text document.
But what would the attack be from someone else? What would that look like?
Oh, the cross-site stuff? I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so if we didn't scrape the HTML and we went to go display it, well, one thing is we want to have highlights on our search, and that is injected from the view script. So essentially, as the front end gets the results, it has these highlighting tags in it. So either we need to do some kind of full replacement on the client side, which is, depending on the user's device, not really feasible in an efficient way. But essentially, we're injecting our own HTML into highlight matches in the search results, which if we were to allow the original HTML from a user's site, that would render as HTML rather than the character. So it's a way of injecting HTML into search results. So like, for example, if we didn't do that, someone could put like a MetaMask pop-up or something in search results that would just
Oh,
automatically drain your wallet. Yeah.
really smart. Okay. cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, so
And
it's
and
important that we that we sanitize all the HTML.
and like speaking of sanitizing, like you mentioned, I'm kind of curious the degree to which like you still have to do things manually. Like for example, you have to like manually check in to make sure things aren't are still working at all. Do you have to do any sort of like curation yourself of the search results, or is it pretty much automatic at this point?
It's just automatic. It's pretty automatic. I mean, in terms of like curation or moderation, we don't really do too much with. I mean, if there is anything that anyone finds that is um, that shouldn't be there, let's say, please let us know and we'll address it. But yeah, we are. I think we're pretty lucky with the way that Arweave nodes and gateways are set up, where they generally don't serve things that are unwanted already. So we have that layer of protection. But yeah, there is some manual spot moderation going on. Not too much. It's probably only a couple things, but that's where it's at right now.
Is there any particular one feature that you are like laser focused on or would love to see shipped in the next 6 months or years? Like one particular next step for Wuzzy?
Uh, Addressing the centralized aspect of it, I think is the most that I'm comfortable saying right now. Working on a white paper that would address these more directly. But yeah, I'd want that to exist.
And refresh my memory. What do you mean about the centralization? You mean that it's just all on your node, or are you talking about the GraphQL issue, or what in particular?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess yeah, there's two different aspects there. I guess GraphQL because it's from Gold Sky is just central to them. But I think it could be through gateways with some elbow grease and some experiments that I got to do. But yeah, no, more specifically the whole Wuzzy stack with Hyperbeam. Yeah, I mean, it is just me right now, just paying out of pocket to crawl and scrape and host Hyperbeam nodes and all that stuff. So it could be more decentralized than that. Maybe having other operators run their own nodes that can serve and index the Wuzzy index. Yeah, I guess one hint
Yeah, give
I
me a
can
hint. I'm trying to get what
one hint I
you're
can
trying to
give
say.
away is that uh the scraping and indexing and all of that stuff is deterministic. So we can actually start making some kind of like crowd or cooperative stack to get that to be more decentralized, if that
When
makes sense.
token.
Yeah, no, you're talking about token.
Jaja
Don't dance
Jaja picked
around
up
this
on it.
because that's
Yeah,
kind of
no.
like how anyone works, right? Like
Yeah.
is it like they're like decentralized? I don't remember onion. They have decentralized onions. That's what I remember from anyone. And they use sort of the token to sort of like incentivize people for this, or no?
Well, there's no incentive to run an onion router on any network, just for no reason. Like, there's never been one out of other than the goodness of your heart, I suppose. But yeah, that's what anyone does is incentivizes people to run relays.
Okay, and you're realizing that if you rely on everyone's goodness of your own heart, you're going to go bankrupt. So we're trying to figure out a
Or
way
your
to,
options are going to be really limited, yeah.
yeah, really limited. I gotcha. Okay, hey, I dig it. I dig it, man. I'm looking for Wuzzy. That's that's a good token name. Wuzzy on the Permaweb index this time next year.
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, well, like, Jim, this has been pretty darn interesting. Has there been anything we haven't asked you? Like, it's such a complex topic. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a glaringly obvious point of discussion here that I'm missing.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we didn't really get into like semantic search, and that's kind of the wrench in what I just said about our scraping being deterministic. Because when you when you start getting into semantic and AI and stuff, it becomes not deterministic anymore because AIs run from randomness. So ask Grok
Okay,
the same thing; it'll give you two different answers. So
Yeah, no, I'm gonna need way more clarification. That went so far over my head, it's hitting airplanes in the sky above me. What Okay, yeah, just help me out here, Jim. What does that mean?
So semantic search would be something like it kind of understands the intention of, I don't know, what's a good example? Cat versus category, I guess. Those are two
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things. If you just say cat for cat to mean cat as shorthand for category, that's completely different than an animal, right? So how does the search engine know that? It would have to kind of like use semantics and what's the word? Context to kind of figure out what your intentions are to give you better search results. So that would be more of I guess, an AI's opinion, if we want to call it that, rather than, if I were to run our HTML scraping algorithm against the same HTML input, I would always get the same output. It's deterministic. So if you were to run it on your computer, it would be the same. Run it on someone else's computer, it would be the same. But if we're talking about AI and LLMs and trying to get semantic, it's going to be different every time you run it because it's necessarily run from an RNG input.
So by context, it could be like the LLM evaluating the user that is searching. Would that be some sort? What do you mean by kind of context?
Um, it's probably a better example if you were to like type in, like, how we went from Google where we just searched like I want to find cars, so I type cars, right? But now you type in a whole question, right? Like that's more the extreme end of semantic understanding. So the search engine knows like, oh, we should give them auto dealerships or something rather than something completely different that it just happens to text match. Like if I had a web page that just said cars, and it was just that word over and over again, but didn't actually have anything to do with cars or something like that, that shouldn't show up versus a dealership should, because that's what you intended to buy.
So Wuzzy Search is just like the baby steps of this, where it's like, you can type in the capital C or all capitals or undercase or
Or
lowercase.
misspellings. Yeah.
Yeah, misspellings. But semantic search is sort of like the full blown, like, it doesn't even, not only can you like mess up a little bit on like the capitalization or whatever, it's if you type in, Honda dealership, it'll
Yeah,
like be
I'm
smart
I'm
enough to know
totally
like,
oversimplifying it, but
yeah,
it can get into a lot of things with like synonyms of words. It depends on the language you're searching in, right? So for English, synonyms are going to be different than other languages that may or may not have those words or have different words. So um, it's yeah. And then there's another aspect for semantic works good on text, but it's not really doesn't apply to images or any other type of media. So then there you'd use like some kind of neural algorithm or like a graph to find like nearest neighbors and things like that. And so when we're talking about this kind of scale, it gets out of hand really quickly in terms
you're
of
gonna need to
infrastructure and hosting.
decentralize.
Yeah,
Maybe or maybe
exactly.
not with the token. Yeah. Um, I feel like Wuzzy will really have made it when people are intentionally trying to SEO gamify you. Like once people
Yeah,
start
that's
uploading to the Permaweb and they're thinking like, I need to make sure this ranks high in the Wuzzy SEO, that's when you've really made it.
yeah. We're actually working on something to help that. Um, I will say that the Google Search Console, if you guys have ever tried to SEO your own websites, is not a great experience because it's it's like, hey, this thing's wrong with your website. We won't explain what, and then you have to wait 7 days to see if it fixed. So that's an extremely painful experience that I think that at least focusing on ARNS pages for now to make that a better experience for website hosts.
Yeah, it'd be cool to even get just a guide, like
Yeah.
on social media, just so it's out there. It's like, how do you get
Well, we're
Wuzified?
trying to go beyond a little bit more than a guide and have it be kind of automated. Like, hey, we just scraped your thing. This is what it is. Here's what
Yeah,
you should fix.
Hmm,
that's sick.
very cool. All right. Well, if you're watching this out there and you haven't given Wuzzy Search a try, give it a whirl. Connect your wallet. You're going to get badges, and you're going to help Jim further fine tune his system This is pretty much the number one thing because whenever people talk about like all the cool stuff on Arweave, like we have public Epstein files, we have like Ukraine war documentation, we have all this sort of stuff, but then you're like, okay, cool, that's amazing. Where is it? You're like, well, here's a really long, complicated link
Yeah.
to where you can open it up. And so honestly, if there was one project where I feel like turns Arweave into like a household name, it would be a search engine where you could, tell your mom or your grandmom, like, hey, you want that like esoteric piece of knowledge that's stored in Arweave. You don't need to like worry about like, like having any sort of technical knowledge. You just type it into Wuzzy and there you go. So to be honest, if there's one project that I really feel like could make Arweave like a global household name, it would be a search engine like Wuzzy.
Yeah. Well,
No pressure.
I hope I'm up for the challenge.
No pressure. Don't, no.
But yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, that's the goal of being able to find what you want in Arweave. And yeah, people have been searching for those things that you mentioned. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You just opened up a bag of worms here because what are people searching for right now? I'm sorry. Should have been my first question.
Well, I mean, I haven't looked into it too much, and I try to respect users' privacy as much as we can. But yeah, there have been some silly searches like that. Like
That's all porn. God, I knew it. Okay.
actually, there's surprisingly not that much porn. I don't know. There's like some kind of filter or something somewhere, but yeah, kind of hard to
It's all
find it.
coming. All the searches for it are coming from Vancouver, Canada. I don't know what the heck is going on right now. Okay. Well, Jim, I really appreciate you stopping by. Check out Wuzzy. It's an incredible project. I can't wait to see the white paper you're working on and see what's coming next.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Till next time, folks. Take care.